Hey guys, it was good Triple J boxing. So we have a monumental, huge fight tomorrow. We're less than 24 hours away. Tomorrow at this time, right now, as I'm recording this video, it's 10 p.m., 10:17 to be exact, Eastern. And we will know the winner at this time tomorrow night. This fight is on Saturday because it's Saudi Arabia, so the time difference. Uh, so it will be earlier in the day than it usually is. So remember, 2 p.m. That's when the card starts. But so this fight, it's the best fight in boxing. Like a lot of people have been saying, not just me, just because of what's not just what's at stake, but just giving the two guys body of work, their physical attributes. But it's not even that. It goes beyond their record and their physical skills and attributes, and the knockout power and the boxing skills. It to me, what makes this fight special is the mentality of these guys. You just can't see you mentally you can't see these guys being broken, either of them. They're at the highest level of mentality in boxing. Um, the mental strength of these guys, the willpower, that's what makes this fight so good. It's because it's like an unmovable object meets an unstoppable force, not only in the sense of physicality, but the mentality of these guys. And I dove into it more thinking, like, now this is just my thinking on it. I mean, it's just speculation, it's just opinion. Yeah, that's Pippa in the back. She's chewing on her bone. Got your bone, Pippa? Yeah, so the more I dive into it and I look at their mentalities and I look at the face-offs, the interviews, and the way they act, it seems to me that who wants it more, I would have to say Dmitry Bivol wants it more, just because from what he said this means a lot to him. The belts mean a lot to him. He said the whole point of his career from boxing from 6 years old, this is the pinnacle. This is why he worked so hard. It's just for this one fight. This is the final fight in the sense that he's talking about, the final step in his career. Now, I don't know if he means like he would retire after this, but he means this is the final goal, to have all the belts and to beat the best possible guy in the division, to be called the best. And he's doing both. He's not only would he collect all the belts, but he's beating the man that is truly the best guy in the division. He's not picking up belts from a bum or a belt from someone who's not really the best in the division. He's picking it up from the best. So he says, the fact that he says all this and just the look in his eye in the face-off, if you watch closely, Dmitry Bivol, they both have a nice cold stare in the face-off, but to me it looks like there's something different in Dmitry Bivol. Like, he keeps on looking. He doesn't look away from Beterbiev even when the face-off's done. He looks at Beterbiev for a couple more seconds. He stares him down after Beterbiev already looks away. Now, face-off, it's just a face-off. It doesn't mean he's gonna win the fight. I'm just, like I said, this is just my opinion. This is just me trying to break down the psychology to get us excited for the fight. Because I've said in the past, face-offs don't really win the fight. But I mean, if you combine the way he's looking, like I said, in the face-off, how he stares a couple seconds more than Beterbiev, from what he said in the interviews, how he really cares about winning this fight, and this is the most important fight, and this is what he trained his whole life for. You can see the passion in his words when he says that. And then you look at Artur Beterbiev on the other hand, he kind of looks like a guy who it could just be that his English isn't as good as Dmitry Bivol. He's not as outgoing as Dmitry Bivol, and that's saying. And I'm not saying like Dmitry Bivol's not like a crazy personality either, but Beterbiev, and a lot of the Eastern European fighters usually aren't like crazy outspoken, but they have been coming a long way lately. Ever since Triple G, they have been developing more personality. Kovalev, Triple G, Usyk, Usyk has a good personality, so they are coming a little bit more out into the open with their outgoing personality, the language barrier. They're giving it a go. They're actually trying to promote themselves in English, which is good to see. And Dmitry Bivol, so he's not like a crazy outspoken guy, but he definitely is putting in the work. Whereas Artur Beterbiev, he's definitely a man of few words. It could just be he's not putting as much effort into promoting himself because that's just the way he is, and his English maybe isn't as good. But when they asked him, my point of this, guys, what I'm getting to is when they asked him, do you care about winning all these belts? Is that your main goal? Are you really motivated just to win this fight, to get all the belts? And he says, not really. I don't care about that. I don't care about the belts. And so it could just be one of two things, that that's just the way he is. He's really humble. He doesn't want to admit that he does care. So it could be that. Or it could be that maybe he really doesn't care as much as Bivol does. Maybe he just cares about winning the fight. And those material things don't really, or the belts don't really move him as much, because he has the majority of the belts already, right? Now, like I said, if it's just him being humble and he does care, then yeah, I mean, that could be a possibility. But let's just say he doesn't care about the belts as much, and his will to win this fight and his who wants to win more. Let's just say Dmitry does want to win the fight more, because he showed it in his interviews that Dmitry Bivol, you can just feel the passion that he trained his whole life just for that moment, just for this fight. That's what he exactly said, Dmitry Bivol. Like, it was pretty. It gave me goosebumps when he said that, and it gave him goosebumps. He said, thinking about this fight, that he trained his whole life just for this one moment. This is the pinnacle. Whereas you didn't really hear that from Artur Beterbiev. From him, you just heard like it's another day in the office. It's just another fight for him. So it could just be him keeping to himself, though, and he's just being humble. But it is a big deal for him as well. But let's just say it's not a big deal, and it is another day in the office, and Dmitry Bivol would have that edge of wanting to win the fight more than he would. It still doesn't take the fact away that Artur Beterbiev is he's just a beast in there. He's a natural, his will to win is just him instinctual, like his instinct to win a fight. You know what I mean? He doesn't have to want the belts. He doesn't have to get the whatever official win on paper. He just has to beat your ass and win the fight. Like in a real world scenario, like a life or death situation, he just cares about winning the fight. It's just instinct to him. So as long as he gets the win in the fight, as long as he proves that he is superior to you and he is better than you, that's enough for him. He doesn't need the belt. So it could be that, and that would be still a problem for Bivol, no matter how much Bivol wants to win the fight more than Artur Beterbiev. For all those other reasons, like the belts being undisputed, you got this guy who's just a primitive beast who just wants to win. You know what I mean? So it could just be that too, or he's just being humble, and Beterbiev does care about all those things that Bivol said, and his English just isn't as good. But there's just something about Bivol in this fight, a twinkle in his eye. Like, you just see something. Like, he really wants this. And like I said, in the face-offs, him staring down Beterbiev a little more than Beterbiev is, him saying that he trained his whole life just for this one moment, and they actually asked him after the weigh-in, are you going to treat this like a regular fight? Are you trying to is this just another day in the office essentially for him? Are you preparing the way you do for everybody else? He said, and Bivol, if you listen to his words closely, he actually said that for the most part, yes, I am training like he's just all my other opponents. He said for the most part. So he obviously does feel like this Beterbiev is above everyone else he's ever faced. And you can just tell them he can just tell by the way he's talking that Beterbiev, he knows this is a different beast, and he definitely trained different Obviously, he said for the most part, but you can see there's something a little more to that he's trained. He knows this is gonna be something. This is gonna be the best. He has to be the best he's ever been to win this. So I'm liking the demeanor of Dmitry Bivol. And like I said, Artur Beterbiev, his mentality. Both of these guys, their mentality is unquestioned, and that's why this fight is so good, because their mentalities are just insane. And I don't see anybody break. No one's gonna break. It's either one guy's gonna get outworked or outboxed, or one guy's gonna get knocked out, and I don't know who that will be. You know what I mean? Well, I think Dmitry Bivol will win. That's gonna be my prediction. I think him by decision, maybe a knockdown by Dmitry Bivol as well. If he can catch Beterbiev off guard, he has been dropped before. So I'm going to go with Dmitry Bivol by decision, but I would not be surprised if he ended up hurting Artur Beterbiev and dropping him, and that would be my prediction. But like I said, I can't argue if you pick Beterbiev either. You know what I mean? The guy's perfect KO percentage. Hard to argue that. You know what I mean? But the reason why I'm picking Dmitry Bivol is simple: the footwork and the distance control, and his mentality is just as strong as Beterbiev's. It's like, in my opinion, he uses it in a different way. Like I said, he controls the distance, and he's not as aggressive, but his footwork is key, and he puts on the pressure mentally and physically when he needs to. And the thing is with Beterbiev, people think he's not a good boxer because he knocks everybody up, but that's not the case. He is a good boxer. He sets up the punches to get the knockouts, but people get in love with his power that they forget that. But it's the opposite for Dmitry Bivol, in the sense that people think he's a weak puncher because he wins by decision a lot and his KO percentage isn't as high. But if you actually look at the way he fights and the way he lands his shots, they have power. Look what he did to Canelo. Canelo visibly was shook. The Sullivan Barrera knockout was good. His last fight, he knocked the guy out. So when he needs to, he can knock you out. It's just he is more of a boxer, and he doesn't take risks. He only takes risks when he senses weakness in you or openings. So, but he does have power, so don't get that twisted. He has power. It's just the way he uses it is not as reckless and aggressive as other fighters. So, yeah, guys, I gotta say, I just gotta pick Dmitry Bivol on the footwork and distance control. I gotta pick that, and he's not mentally weak. You gotta add that in there, because a lot of Beterbiev's opponents are not as mentally strong as Dmitry, not even close. So that's gonna be a determinative factor as well. We've seen what Gwozdek did with Artur Beterbiev. That guy was mentally strong, and he almost won the fight. I think he got knocked out in the 11th round. So I forget the scorecards on that, but that was I think he was winning a lot of rounds against Artur Beterbiev. So that would be the last Eastern European that had a really strong mentality, I would say. But I mean, obviously Gwozdek went through a lot when he put Adonis Stevenson into that coma. That's gonna mess with you mentally. You know what I mean? So I don't know if Gwozdek was ever the same after that. Maybe he was. Maybe I'm looking too much into that. But that definitely affects guys when they either hurt a fighter and they go to the hospital, or they kill them for, like, it happens, and that messes with them mentally. I know Manny Pacquiao had a story when he seen someone die in the ring on the night he was fighting in the Philippines, and it messes with you. It stays with you. It can break you. You might not want to do it anymore. You might not have it in you. But I'm not giving that as an excuse, because Gwozdek still came back and he won fights. He just recently did pretty good against David Benavidez. That was a competitive fight. So, but like what I'm saying is, if you're mentally strong and you have good footwork and distance control like Dmitry Bivol, that's a deadly combination to win a lot of rounds and win the fight. So that would be my pick, Dmitry Bivol. But you can't count out Beterbiev. The only thing you got to worry about with Beterbiev, if you're betting on him and you think he's going to win, is his age. He's almost 40. And his surgeries, specifically the knee surgery that he just had recently. I mean, some people were saying he shouldn't have. I'm going to take this bone away. She's eating it. I'm just going to, hold on, guys. I'm going to put this up here. That's enough for the bone. That's enough with the bone. Yeah, she's starting to eat pieces of the bone, the knuckle bone there. Sorry, that's eat. That's eat. Yeah, so some people say he's coming back too soon after that knee surgery and he should have took a couple more months off, but he was kind of rushed into it because of Riyadh season and all that, when it should have, maybe he should have took more time off after that. But, you know, he chose to fight, right? Whether he should have or not, we will find out. He says it's 100%, but you know, they always going to say that before going into a fight. They always say that. And then after the fight, they say, worst training camp, knee was hurting. You know what I mean? Like, maybe Artur Beterbiev maybe won't say that, but you'll hear, like, some fighters do admit that, but I don't think he would. But you might hear something coming out of the, like, leaking out of the camp saying after the fact, oh, yeah, his knee had problems. He could barely spar on some days. He had a brace on or something. Now, if he comes in with, like, a wrapped knee, then that's going to tell you something. I hope not, though. But he's a strong man physically and mentally, so he'll definitely get through the fight even if he did have a bad knee. I think he would still put up a pretty good fight either way, but you got to be 100% if you're going against Dmitry. So other than the age and the knee, that would be my concern for him. And then Dmitry, my concern with him is all that ex-wife nonsense going on, him slandering him, hating on him every day on her social media. It's the mother of his kids, so you can't get away from it. It's in the back of your head. It's the monkey on your shoulder. It's not like a girlfriend you can just dump. You had kids with this woman. She's always on you. She's rooting for Artur Beterbiev to knock you out. Like, I mean, I know he's probably really focused and he's mentally strong, but it's got to be in the back of your head, and that's got to bug you. And she's probably ringing him through the court system and all that, trying to get his money. I just don't. It's got to mess with you a little bit. So you got that, and then obviously there could be injuries on his side too, right? Oh yeah, and that's another thing. His ex-wife, Kate Bivol, leaked out a bunch of his injuries on her Instagram, saying, oh, he has a problem with his eye, he had a problem with his vertebrae in his back. So she's leaking all his previous injuries, and he's rooting for Artur Beterbiev. I mean, that's just... So he's got to deal with that, right? And then, like I said, he could have injuries too. You don't know. They all get something. It's hard to go into a fight 100%. But this is the best fight in boxing just for the reason I mentioned, the mentality of these two men. It's hard to imagine one of these guys breaking. Their willpower is just so strong. And they're both undefeated. One guy's 100% knockout percentage, and the other guy's a master boxer. It's for all the belts. And possibly top 3 pound for pound. If not, you could put him number 1 pound for pound. I wouldn't have a problem with that if you put the winner of this fight number 1 pound for pound. Definitely got to be in the top 5, no doubt, on everybody's list. But we will see. It starts at 6 p.m. The actual fight itself, the main event, will be 6 p.m. Eastern, but the card starts at 2 p.m. Eastern. So don't forget that, guys. It's gonna be really interesting. Oh yeah, another thing I want to mention, Artur Beterbiev. It seems like he's always like he. Do you notice how he's kind of like mumbling something when he's up on stage, like during the press conferences and the weigh-ins? Now, what is that, guys? Is he like chanting a prayer? Is he praying, or is he thinking of what to say in English, preparing himself? You know what I mean? Because his English isn't great. Let me know, guys. Do you know what he's doing? Because I was like, yeah, what is he doing? It looked like he was chanting a prayer. He is Muslim. So, I don't know. Is that what he's doing? Or is he just, like I said, he's preparing what he's going to say in case he has to talk English. But let me know if you guys caught that. But I'm liking the demeanor of both men, especially Dmitry Bivol. It seems like he really wants to win this fight. even more so than Beterbiev maybe. But Beterbiev, he's a quiet guy. He keeps it to himself. So maybe he wants it just as bad. Or maybe it won't even matter because he's that much of a beast. So, but yeah, so I just see this fight playing out like one guy. He's pretty much, his chance of winning is to hurt the other guy, where the other guy, his chance is to just box the other guy. That's how you would think it would be logically the easiest prediction. You would think if Beterbiev was going to win, it'd be knockout, not decision. And if Bivol's going to win, it'd be decision, not knockout. But don't be surprised, guys. Like I said, if Dmitry Bivol hurts Artur Beterbiev and drops him, but I still have him winning a decision, that would be my pick. Not knockout, but decision. And can Bivol take the power of Artur Beterbiev if he does get hit clean? He took the power of Smith pretty well. He got rocked in that fight. He recovered. I remember it was a big shot too. Luckily, I think it was at the end of the round. So he has taken power before. Whereas I feel like Beterbiev hasn't really faced someone on the skill level of Bivol in the professional game up till this point. He did beat Usyk, and he's faced Usyk quite a bit in the amateurs, but he's never fought a guy on the level of the boxing skill of a Bivol, whereas at least Bivol has faced power guys like Canelo and Joe Smith, so he is used to power. And he did get hit, so he has tasted it and handled it. Whereas we haven't really seen Beterbiev handle a guy like the footwork of Bivol up to this point. Since the amateurs he hasn't anyway. So it's going to be interesting. Can his 40-year-old legs keep up with the fresher early 30-year-old Bivol legs? But that's what I have on this, guys. Super excited. I can't wait. The face-off was intense. The weigh-in was intense. The interviews were intense. It's just gonna be real good. There was a little beef between Artur and Eddie, which I found that refreshing. I found that entertaining, just because Beterbiev doesn't really trash talk that much. So it's good to see a little of that from him, because it can be a little bit dull at times, and I don't really mind it, because as long as he performs in the ring, which he does, it's not a huge thing for me. But it definitely suits him better to market himself a little bit, because I feel like Dmitry Bivol, he does seem more relaxed and outgoing on camera and promoting himself, and I think that's good for him, right, to pick up fans. Like Canelo really has learned English good. I really just think it really grows their audience and their fans when they do that. But all that matters is the win, I guess, really, in the end anyway. So, like I said, I don't hate on if he doesn't want to talk at all. It's up to him. Oh yeah, another thing, when I said he's mumbling, Beterbiev, when he's mumbling during the prep conferences in the weigh-ins, maybe he's just saying saying, I want to get out of here, like I hate this media stuff, like fuck this. Maybe he's saying something like that, I don't know. But I thought I'd put that in there because that was another one of my thoughts. But this is Triple J Boxing, guys. Dmitry Bivol versus Artur Beterbiev. Who do you got? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.